Yeah, there's some feedback that I've gotten that I'm working on. I need to smile more, stand up straighter, and exude more energy. That's what I'm focusing on this fall camp. Anything else today?
As you've gone into this fourth practice now, and your role, you talked about it after day one. How's it evolving? How are you seeing it change?
I like it. I'm having fun. I get to coach the nose tackles for about 10 minutes a day, so I get my coaching fix, at least on a position group, and then it's fun to be able just to address whatever I see offensively, defensively, or special teams wise, focusing more on relationships with the players maybe than just the head coaching responsibility. So that's been kind of fun too. I actually invited him to my house, which I know is shocking, but yeah, got a social engagement at my house.
Can you talk about?
You probably missed your invitation. I don't. I need to get your address.
Stuck in the mail.
Yeah.
Can you talk about Michael Davis being switched over
Yeah.
to defense?
So we liked a lot of what we saw last year from Michael, and that was more out of necessity. And a lot of the growth that's happening on our team right now is based on competition. And I thought even more competition at corner would be good. And so he's did a nice job.
You seem to be down on numbers a bit out there. Did it feel thin to you?
Yeah, today was thin, and man, we've gotten really hard. I mean, yesterday's practice might have been one of the most difficult and intense practices that we've ever had. And so yeah, even though it's day 4, the guys are working hard, and so I felt a little bit that I cut it short today because of that.
Nothing health-wise of a long-lasting concern right now?
I don't think so. No, mostly just soft tissue. We did have one head injury, a concussion, first day of shells, and IE Ho Ching, but he'll be back. And so that's I think it's par for the course where we are in camp right now.
How about one of your depth chart QBs, McCoy Hill?
Yeah, can't tell you the exact injury as I don't remember. Surgery on Monday, knee, but you could check with Steve Pincock and he'll update you.
Is there any update like Alger and Brown be back joining?
Man, it's all just paperwork at this point. All the work's done, and the grades have to be posted, and who knows how long that takes. So we're just waiting for the administration to handle that.
Is Manoa in the same boat that way?
Manoa's similar. He actually has some coursework still to finish, and I think that finishes tomorrow. Then he'll have to wait for the same cycle of grades being posted and those kind of things.
Do you feel good about Manoa getting up to speed in time to open the season with you?
Oh yeah, there has been enough experience and enough time in the program. It won't be an assignments issue with him.
Devin Mahina, just a slight...
Devin Mahina came back today, limited today, and so I would say by the end of this week he could be full go. Ankle injury from off-season conditioning.
You didn't use the tight end a lot last year. Have you had, now that you're kind of paying a little more attention to the offense, are you talking to Robert and I about that at all?
Really, it's not so much using the tight end, it's where can our best players be used. And so we have kind of different versions of tight ends as you've seen. Devin will be more a hand on the ground, true tight end, used with 2 backs and in some 1-back settings. But you'll also see Jordan Leslie, Keanu Nelson, guys like that playing an inside receiver spot. They're actually grouped with the tight ends, but there's really not quite the hybrid of Dennis Pitta, Johnny Harleen. We kind of have either receivers or tight ends right now, and so based on the personnel grouping will be how we use them. The good news is we have 2-back sets and 1-back sets, so I think there'll be a role for Devin.
Defensive players who are #1 on the depth chart, but who have been running with the 2s and the 3s, specifically the cornerbacks, maybe the nose tackle, what can be read into that?
Well, a lot of, and whenever we talked last time, so most issues that we have on the program, I'd prefer, haven't been super successful, but I prefer to handle that all internally and as discreetly as possible. And so what you could read into it is we're working on development of players and people, and within a team setting, and hopefully as privately as we can.
Coach Charlie Strong at Texas took his team's Longhorn logos off the helmets and they have to earn them back. You're logoless right now. Is it logistical or something else?
No, it was really a clean slate. There's a lot of different changes in college football going on right now, and with the new role for myself as the head coach, and really just a different era of college football, I see a lot of things almost starting over as the program, and so it was more symbolic of a clean slate than not earning them back.
Nothing a team has done wrong, you're
No,
simply starting fresh.
Just starting fresh. Yeah, it's certainly not a punishment, it's just starting fresh.
What's your assessment of the defensive secondary at this point?
Wow, there's a lot of good things. Dallin Levitt has been really a nice surprise. Not a surprise, his development is coming along nicely, so I like what he's doing. Craig Bill's very steady. Sky Pove can play either boundary corner or at the safety spot. Chris Badger has actually been very strong so far in camp, so I've liked that. And then Harvey Jackson. So our safety spots I like. We know we have Jordan and Rob at the corner spots, and that's a fantastic thing. I like the development a lot of Kai Nakua, Michael Shelton. So those are two young players with Jordan Prater. So I would say the up-and-comers kind of include that group. And then you throw Michael Shelton into that mix, there's a little bit more maturity, a little bit more speed and athleticism, where he's not a newcomer and he's not a veteran, kind of in between, and that kind of links it together then with Trent Trammell.
How rapidly is Harvey Longy progressing inside right now?
Very rapidly. From where I sit as the head coach, and now not just watching offense or defense, I usually make a note to the coaches every day, what players I notice, and who clearly needs a bigger role or needs the ball or whatever. And Harvey, I think, is one that there hasn't been a day that we practice where I haven't noticed him as either moving faster, creating plays, being around the ball, still learning assignments, but he's done a nice job.
How about Sione Takitaki?
Same. Both those two. You can't help but notice them.
What's his status?
Sione, he's doing really well.
Is he a full member of the team that can play?
Yeah, there's no issues with him.
As far as you talked about Michael Davis, but also Michael Elisa.
That's a good one.
What about him?
Yeah, he would be another one maybe to put in that same mix that we just talked about. Michael Elisa's. He's made a lot of plays already, rushing the passer, in coverage, chasing the football, hungrier, and I think maybe in a better place just as a person, a better place personally than he might have been for a long time. So he's been a really pleasant surprise.
With Bronson learning a new position, how concerning is it that he's not out there?
Not yet. If it were this same time next week, I'd start to get on the edge a little bit. So anything prior to maybe Wednesday of next week, I'm okay with. Once it starts getting around there, I feel a little bit edgy.
How's the feistiness level of this team on day 4?
Let's see, in terms of feisties, 4 being the most feisties out of the scale, I'd say we're probably 3.75.
Coach and I just said you might only scrimmage once.
Yeah.
Why would that be?
So if there is only one format that is scrimmage only, I think that's what I'm referring to.
Okay.
There might be a practice that looks just like today, except the team segment would be live. And then we get all the rest of the work that we need. And with this team and the number of players and still some of the things we need to figure out, scrimmage is part of it, but also practice is part of it. So there might only be just one major scrimmage.
You've been impressed with Christian Stewart so
Like
far?
him. He's done a nice job. Yeah. More accurate, more decisive, and he's certainly a run-first quarterback, has been, but he's done a nice job delivering the football so far.
Was part of moving Michael Davis over made it easier because you had so much depth at the wide receiver position?
Yeah, and we all know that can change at any time. It also had to do a little bit with what his upside is, and when I look at where the team needs a player, but also what his best position might be in terms of what his future is, I kind of think he could be a really, really nice corner, and so that played into it also.
I wanted to ask about Josh Whippy, another rugby player that's joined the team. And, pipeline there, is that what?
Not sure. We were thin at running back. I had seen him in the off-season program. He had expressed an interest, so he came out, and he was big and he's fast, and still learning just how to even get the stance. So he's had 4 practices total, but Paul's helped him a lot with CK. And too early to say, but he's a great young man, really good for our team, really humble. One of the things with the rugby players that I really like, so hardworking and so humble and appreciative. I think they're used to just going out in the park and have a ball thrown out and, run around and tackle guys. I mean, now they get equipment and uniforms and stuff, and it's pretty neat.